I've always been very obsessed with sounds.
One of my obsessions has always been fast cars.
I would have to say my number one obsession is my daughter, Claire. Yeah, my effects symbol, I would say that I'm fairly obsessed with it. I've always been very obsessed with sound, especially the sound of drums and how it translates from the acoustic instrument onto a recorded or live example of what's being mic'd or amplified. I guess the obsession probably started in my mid-teens. I used to sit in the basement and record and mix ourselves, and that just kept going through my teen years until I started actually doing a lot of recording and mixing and actually using sound reinforcement. I'm so obsessed with this that I've kind of taken over the role of the sound man. My setup includes not only the drum set, but the microphones, mixing console that I submix most of all of my sounds most of the time to the front of house. Just takes a lot of the guesswork out of somebody else trying to replicate my concept of how I want to sound and what the drum should sound like. But just having the understanding and the knowledge of how a microphone reacts and responds, and then the input from any kind of electronic manipulation through a mixing console and how that translates out in front. The end result is generally the sound that I want people to hear.
Today we're out here at Willow Springs Raceway. One of my obsessions has always been fast cars, driving, racing. Since I was very young, there's always been fast cars in the family. I finally was able to get one. This car is a 2007 Corvette Z06. It's 505 horsepower, it's a 427 cubic inch V8, 0 to 60 times 3.7 seconds. It's completely stock. They do have a Callaway shifter in it, an exhaust mod, the 6-speed gearbox. The thing is basically a race car right out of the factory. But other than that, it's bone stock, and it's just an awesome car. It responds to my every input, and I'm still learning how to drive it.
I guess out of all the obsessions, whether it's drums, sound, cymbals, driving a car fast, I guess I would have to say my number one obsession is my kid, and that would be my daughter, Claire. You know, to see her grow, and you know, for me it's all about giving her the opportunity to find herself, to figure out what she wants to do, and to nurture that, and now that's turned into, you know, singing and playing guitar, and you know, for me it's so important to recognize a talent and at least give your child the opportunity to see whether they want to do that.
Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you too.
And for me it's all about her being happy, and you know, she realizes she's happy when she sings, and so it's quite a nice thing to see that happen in your own kid, you know, so that's number one. I have to say I'm obsessed with my entire line of Evolution and Legacy cymbals that I helped design with Mark Love at Sabian. The Evolution line in general was created basically to satisfy a vision and a desire for me to create a cymbal that I felt wasn't in existence yet. With all of my recent studies with Freddie Gruber and just the pursuit of trying to play with the path of least resistance physically and with my equipment, the cymbals had to fall in line with that. And so it wasn't only about the sound, which is a very high fidelity sound is the only way that I can describe it. It's a beautiful high end, not harsh in character, and pleasing to listen to. They project incredibly well. The crash cymbals, splashes, the effect cymbals with the ozone, and the ride is very versatile as well. I guess if there's one that I'm obsessed about the most is the effects cymbal, the HHX Evolution effects, and this one is actually a 17 prototype that I've had on the kit since 2000, so it might give you an idea of how strong they are. It's such a versatile cymbal. It's a very different sounding cymbal that can be used for effects as well as just a secondary crash. Mark Love just made me on request an 18-inch version of the same cymbal, and you know, darker in quality. I requested it because I was doing some heavier gigs. I wanted a little bit more metal to hit. But yeah, the HHX Evolution Effects is really an awesome cymbal.